everybody. It's Carolee from Glass Court. We miss you guys so much. Hope everybody's doing well. I'm gonna do a regular Hatha yoga class today. So normally we have props such as the blankets, the blocks, and the straps at the club. So if you don't have a strap, that you might need for today. That you will need for today. You can use a belt, a tie, scarf. You can use a robe belt. You could even use a towel. So lots of things that you can use for a strap. Then for a block, because you might need a block for different things. Now, we use blocks for different things. A block for sitting on, you might use a blanket, folded up. You don't want it a real thick blanket like a quilt is a good solid blanket that you can use to sit on instead of a block. We also use blocks for stability, like to bring the floor up to us so we can, get some grounding but still get length. So in that case, you can use a shoe box, you can use a cake box, right? Because you just need to be able to have that stability. So cake box, you could use a box that you got a delivery in to have, and all of these, they are all different sizes. And this is a regular yoga block. So you can see like that one's close, that one's a little higher, cake box is a little lower. You can also use a book if you're just doing for stability. So once again, on all of these things, you can use any of them. You don't have to use any of them. And if we're doing it and you have two hands down where you are using the block or you're using them, I'd suggest pillows if you ever support your legs with the blocks. I think that might be a little bit easier. But to have the same size. So like I wouldn't want to use these two things. And they could be two different totally as long as they were the same height, because then I would have that stability. But you don't want to be, off. So you want them to be the same height. I'm liking the shoebox option because also sometimes I have you guys put a block between your feet or between your legs so we have proper alignment. The shoebox seems to be the best one that I have found. I've been looking around the house seeing what we can use other than blocks. So, and shoeboxes tend to, not so much anymore, but they can be around the same size. They're more uniform, it seems like. So those are things that you can use for props, as well as if you want to just sit on a pillow instead of a folded up blanket, this, just a pillow off of your couch, off of your bed, just a smaller throw pillow. Or like I said, a blanket. You can also stack the pillow on top if you need to be lifted a little bit higher. So I think we've gone over all the props as far as what you can use at home. On the blankets, I would not use like fluffy comforter type blanket. I would use more of a compressed quilted blanket, you know, think of the blankets in the studio. They aren't real thick and fluffy, they're thin kind of. So with that all being said, let's take a seat on the floor, whatever comfortable position you want. Normally I would say let's go ahead and start in Virasana and start with the block, but if you don't have a block, this can be very uncomfortable. So you might be able to have a pillow between, but you can either come to a comfortable seated position, or you can go ahead and get in Virasana. If you're getting in Virasana using a block, put the block between your ankles, take your thumbs, put them behind the folds of the knees, and drag that skin back and out as you sit down on that block. Make whatever little adjustments you need to get comfortable, and then check in with the toes. Make sure that they're pointing straight back and that you're comfortable, you're not gripping. We're going to be here for a little bit for our breathing. So we're going to do that bee's breath. Everybody seems to like that a lot, so we'll go ahead and do that. And if at any time you feel uncomfortable with the breath, or you just want to return back to your normal breathing, feel free to. You can also get out of Virasana and get into a comfortable seated position as well. Okay? So if we recall, bee's breath is where we're humming in the upper part of our throat. So this is so good because it relieves tension and stress, which a lot of people have right now, and alleviates anger is another good thing right now, anxiety, and reduces blood pressure. So alleviates anger and anxiety, and then reduces blood pressure, strengthens and improves the voice, and eliminates throat ailments. So it just sounds like something we all need right now. So we'll go with our hands. I'll explain the hands first, and then we'll go through the breath. So if you recall, we take our index fingers, place them at the top of our eyelid, of our eyes, just on that brow bone, gently. Then the middle finger goes on the eye bone underneath the eye. We take our index finger, it goes in between the nose and the upper lip, resting on the upper lip. And then our pinkies go underneath our lower lip, and we're gently sealing our eyes and our mouth off. Then our elbows are out wide. We're going to take our thumbs and seal our ear flaps into our ears, closing off all of our senses, and then we'll begin humming. We'll do 5 rounds of it. I'll do all 5 with you. And when you get done, if you finish before me, go ahead and just rest your hands onto your lap and wait until I catch up with you then. And we'll sit for a moment and observe our energy. So go ahead and close those ear flaps, close off all your senses, and begin to hum 5 breaths. Inhale, and on the exhale, hum. sit and observe the energy that is flowing through your body right now. Just take a moment, take inventory. Breathing normal, relaxing the shoulders, clearing the mind. And together as a class, let's inhale, bringing the arms up overhead, pausing for a moment, bringing the palms together at center, and then go ahead and lower them through to heart center. Roll the shoulders both directions. Then go ahead, flutter the eyes open, release the hands. Bring whatever movement you need to into your body. And hopefully that was a little bit of a nice start to our practice together. Another thing, and I'll remember to say this at the end, but I just want to say it now too, because I'm scared I'm going to forget. I'm in Savasana at the very end, when you're in your corpse pose and you're resting and absorbing all the benefits from our yoga practice that we're doing together today. I am going to leave you in that, so you can just rest and relax and hopefully get really grounded and just absorb all of them. I just don't want to rush you at all through that. So I'll get you into Savasana, I'll do a namaste, and I do appreciate us having this time together. I just wanted to explain that a little bit, and I'll explain it again at the end, but just wanted to make sure. Okay, so let's inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, twist to your right and lower your hands so your left hand is palm open over on your right leg. Let the right hand rest behind you. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, rotating the ribs to try and start opening up. Don't crank on your hand. Just use those ribs. Rotate back. Hand is just resting. Inhale, arms back up overhead. Exhale, opposite direction. So now the right hand is over on the left knee, palm is facing out, left hand is behind you. On the inhales, you're lengthening. On the exhale, you're rotating your ribs, not cranking on your spine, just rotating the ribs to just start warming up that spine, warming up the body. Inhale, arms back up overhead. Exhale, release them down. Roll the shoulders both directions. Inhale, arms up overhead. Clasp the hands together and release the index fingers. Interlace the fingers together, releasing the index fingers. Now, really lengthen up. Biceps are back by the ears. See if you can really shoot a lot of energy. Don't flare those ribs. You want to act as if there's a piece of string attaching your ribs and your pelvis so you're not jutting out. So we want to make sure that we're nice and contracted. Our belly is zipped in. We're lengthening through those arms. And now go ahead. Inhale, lengthen again, shoot energy. Exhale, tip over to the right. Lengthening, just starting to warm up here, trying to keep those two shoulders in one plane, so acting as if we're between two window panes. Inhale, come up. Exhale, other side, really lengthening, shooting energy through those arms. Try to keep the shoulders in one plane, grounding through those legs. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, release the arms down. Roll the shoulders both directions. Now inhale, arms out wide. stretch, stretch, stretch. Shoot energy through those fingers. Fingers spread wide. Shoot energy, widening the collarbones, really feeling it. Now go ahead and give yourself a hug. Reach around. See if you can grab your shoulder blades. Give yourself a nice hug. Now, excuse me, sorry. Now, see if you can lift your elbows ever so slightly. Just giving some nice warm up to the upper thoracic spine, the thoracic back. Lower those elbows back down. Open your arms nice and wide. Other arm comes on top now. See if you can reach back, grab those shoulder blades, get a nice stretch that way. Don't forget to lengthen that torso. Now inhale, see if you can go ahead and lengthen as well as lift those elbows up high. Don't flare the ribs. Remember, you have that string keeping your ribs tucked into the pelvis in the front. Breathing normally, feeling that back expand. And release down, and release the arms out, release the arms down. Roll those shoulders both directions. And now let's move the block out, or the pillow, or the blanket. I might use different terms, than what you're using, but we all know what we're trying to get at. So if I say block, it might have been a blanket or a pillow. So anyway, or just come up into all fours. So any props you have on your mat, get off, and then come onto all fours. Now, go ahead and hook those toes together, spread the knees wide, and push back into child's pose, releasing that lower back, reaching the hands forward. I think I'm still in the shot, I'm not sure. And you can release the head down. Just once again, starting with our warm-up. And then push up all the way. And now let's hook our toes under. And if you can, gently walk your feet back. Now this one, we usually do need a block underneath our knees or between our glutes and our heels. You can just simply go back as far as you can. Once it gets to be too much, back off. Because it's hard with the props that we're using at home per se. If you can, straighten all the way up for broken toe. Breathing normal. Feeling the stretch in your feet. Might be a little intense. Yowza. Okay. Come back into the all fours. Toes are still hooked under. You can actually tap them out a little bit to give them a little bit of relief. And then hook them back under. Lift those hips up for down dog. And take a few breaths here, really pressing into those hands. Middle finger pressed towards short end of the mat. Pressing that chest back towards those thighs. Working the heels down to the mat. They don't have to be down on the mat. You can work them down. If it feels good, go ahead, pedal out your legs. Really pressing into those palms. Press into the ball mound of your index finger to protect your wrists. Now shift your weight forward and come into plank. You can be on your knees in plank as well. Just make sure that you have that nice straight back all the way either to your knees or to your heels. Now, lower down very slowly, squeezing those elbows into your side, trying to keep that flat back all the way down, lower, lower. Now, hands should be in a pretty good position towards those lower ribs. So, go ahead. Chin is to center. Have the hands back towards the base of the ribs. Squeeze those elbows together so they're like cricket legs. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, peel the head and chest off of the mat, lengthening through those legs. Do not squeeze the glutes together. Remember, think of a pencil right between the glute and the top of your leg. That's where the contraction happens. Now go ahead, lower down. And release the arms. Look to the right for a nice little neck stretch. And just let that one go. And now bring your chin back to center. Hands under shoulders. Push yourself up to all fours. And now come into a nice all fours position where you have your wrists under your shoulders, knees under your hips, feet are pointing straight back. Now lower to the forearms. We're going to go into dolphins. So come on to the forearms. Elbows are going to be directly underneath those shoulders. You can clasp your hands together if you would like, or you can press them into the mat. This is a very strong calf stretch. Now, if you have any cervical or upper back issues, you can go ahead and just keep your knees bent. Don't go for the full extension. So now hook your toes under, lift your hips up, but knees are still bent. If you have any cervical or upper spine issues, stay here and just feel the stretch, you're fine. If you can go further, go ahead and lift those hips up. Bring the chest back towards those thighs, pressing those forearms into the mat. Breathing normal. Heels don't have to come all the way down to the mat. It's just the direction they're going in. Breathing normal. And then bring a slight bend to the knees, lower down, push back into child's pose. Take a couple breaths here. Come back onto all fours. And now lengthen your legs out for plank. And now you can come to your knees once again. That is totally fine. Or you can lift your legs up. So either knees down or up. And now slowly squeeze those elbows in. Squeeze those arms in as you slowly lower yourself down. Once again, getting those arms in perfect position. Now inhale, lengthen, squeeze those elbows, widen the collarbone, shoot energy through the toes, lengthen the legs, but do not contract the glute together. The glute contraction is happening right at the top of your leg, where the glute, act like you're holding a pencil right there. So now squeeze those shoulder blades together, lengthen, and on the exhale, peel your chest and head up, really shooting the energy through. Try not to have too much weight on your hands. Breathing normal, lengthening, lengthening, and exhale, go ahead, lower down, release the head, look to the left, arms come down by your side, release that one, let that one go. And now come on up and bring your elbows directly underneath your shoulders. Palms are on the mat, pressing into the mat. Middle fingers are shining straight forward to the short end of your mat. Pressing the forearms into the mat. almost lifting your elbows up, shooting energy through the feet. Engage that belly going into Sphinx. Now, see if you can really widen the collarbone. Breathing normal. And release down. Release the head to the right. Release the arms behind you. Let that one go. And hands come under shoulders. Let's push ourselves back into child's pose. So hooking those big toes together, widening the knees. Just a quick release to the lower back. Now, in this next pose, we're going to go back down. We're going to go into Salabhasana or Superman. And we're going to do a couple poses where we're going to reach back and hold one leg during that. If you want to use a strap, a belt, a tie, anything like that, feel free to. We're also going to, during that, because we're going to do a couple different dynamic things there, we're going to also put that block between our feet. So I'll use a shoebox because you guys might not have a block at home. So I'll go ahead and use a shoebox for that to show you how you can do that, okay? So let's go and now get back down on our mats, belly down, lower all the way down. And then, I certainly hope you guys can see me when I'm belly down. Okay, so our hands are going to come, I'm going to have to scoot back a little bit. I'm sorry, you guys. The thrill of doing it at home. I have water there and I almost knocked it over. That wouldn't have been good. Okay, so let's get back down, belly down on our mat. So we're going to bring our arms in front of us as if we're doing Superman, gonna fly. So engage that belly, shoot energy through those toes, engage those quads. Don't squeeze the glutes together. Act as if you have a pencil at the top of your leg that you're trying to hold there. So the glute and the hamstring are contracting together. Now inhale, lengthen, and on the exhale, lift just your arms up. Leave your feet down. You're still keeping them active, but leave them down. Breathing normal. Release down. Now we'll just raise the legs. So, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, just lift those legs up. Try to peel the thighs all the way off. Head is on the mat. Lower the legs down. Now, let's incorporate everything in that. So, go ahead, inhale, lengthen, exhale, lift everything up. Really reach through those toes, reach through those fingers, and now swim those arms back. Bring them back forward, swim them back. Bring them back forward, lower down. Release, go ahead, rest the head to the left just for a little neck stretch. And now we're going to take either your block or the box and put it between your legs, your feet. So, I've got my block between my ankles, basically, between my feet. It can go between your calves, your feet, whatever you want. or ankles. And now I'm going to interlace my hands behind my back and really widen that collarbone. Now inhale, lengthen those arms behind you, widening the collarbone. On the exhale, lift the chest, head, and legs up, squeezing that block. And remember, the pencil is at the top of your legs. Breathing normal. Inhale, lengthen. On the exhale, see if you can come up any higher. And now release down. Release the arms, release the legs, turn the head the opposite way. Bring the chin to center, push yourself up and back so we can move that block or box out of our way. Okay, and once you get the block out from your feet, go ahead. If you want, grab your strap because we're going to go ahead and do floor bow. So we're going to do 2 sets of it. So if you do need your strap, you'll do one side when we do one set, and then you'll do the other side when we do the other set. So you might need your belt or your tie or your scarf or your towel, whatever you're using today. So let's get back down on our bellies. Okay. Now, if you're using, you can use the strap and do both legs at once if you'd like. What we're going to do, just take a moment and watch. You don't need to start getting into the pose just yet. But if you're going to use a strap, go ahead and bend both legs up and see if you can get it around the feet. And you'll just lift up like that, okay? Or you can get it around the ankles, lift up. And then if you're just doing one leg, you can just have it around, I'm getting all twisted up in my strap. You can just have it around the one leg. Like I said, we'll do 2 sets. So you can have it around the one leg as we do. Hold it as close as you can, but that might be here. And pull up on it, not down. So we're pulling up above. So have your hand, if you can, above your shoulder as you lift that leg up. Okay? So now, if you're doing the floor bow with your hands, we're just going to take our hands to the outsides, the long edge of our feet, and either hold the tops of your feet where your ankles meet your feet, wherever is comfortable. And go ahead, now get into position, so either bend both knees, bringing the feet close to the buttocks to start so you can grab or put that strap on. You can start with one foot or start with both. We're going to do 2 sets. Chin comes to center. You have your hands on your feet. Knees are going straight back. You don't want your legs out. You want to bring your legs close together because they'll tend to flare out anyway. Now inhale and lengthen. Go ahead and start putting pressure into those feet. Exhale, lift up. Widen those collarbones. Lift everything up. Squeeze those knees together. Breathing normal. Kick, kick, kick. And then lower down. Turn the head to the right. Let that one go. Relax. Now chin comes back to center. If you did one side, you're going to switch legs. If you did both, you're just going to do both again. Just going either for maybe more length in your spine, or maybe a little bit more arch, or maybe coming a little bit more forward on your belly, or squeezing your knees a little bit closer together. There's a lot of things you can do in the second round, okay? So let's get started. So chin comes to center, reach those arms back, bend the knees, bring those feet close to the buttocks. Now either put the strap on one or both legs. You know what you're doing. We've already been here. Inhale, lengthen, and start pressing into those hands or the strap. Put pressure in the feet. Exhale, lift up, widen those collarbones. Really come up, kick those feet into the hands or the strap. Chin is straight, gaze is ahead. Breathing normal, kick, 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 kick. Lower down, relax. Turn the head to the left. Let that one go. Hands come underneath shoulders. Push up into all fours, bringing the knees underneath the hips. Hands underneath the shoulders. Go ahead and hook those toes under. Lift the hips up for down dog. Take a few breaths here, pressing that chest towards the thighs, elongating the spine. Now walk the hands to the feet for forward fold. Shake the head yes, shake the head no. Releasing that whole posterior chain. Spike the heels into the mat and roll up vertebrae by vertebrae. Come all the way up to stand. Okay, so now, scary might go long. I always do in my classes too. Let's set up for tree. So remember, in tree, we can do it different ways. We can be by a wall for stability because it is a balanced pose. You can stand against the wall if you're trying to focus more on opening up the legs. You can always have your foot on the floor, just the sole of your foot on the leg. You're still in tree. You can have it on the calf. You can have it on a box or a block, or you can try to bring it all the way up to the inner thigh. So you know where you're going. Get whatever prop you need to. We're going to do tree now. So come to the center of your mat. Actually, go to wherever you need to go. If you need to be by the wall, you can be at the wall. Let's just start. So feet are directly under hips. Our feet are shiny. Our ankles are directly under hips. Feet are shining straight forward for good alignment. We're going to start on our left leg first. So shift the weight to your right leg. Really engage that leg and feel the length. Lift from that ankle. Now, take that left foot and place the sole of the foot somewhere on the right leg. Whether it be down at the ankle, on the calf, or up high. We just don't want it on the knee because the knee is not stable. Now we're trying to create energy, focusing going down and then sucking back in. So our glute is really active as well. So our leg is going back behind us. If you can, have the heel of your foot a little bit forward of your toes. That helps open up the hip as well. Now, really focus on your torso. You don't want your ribs flaring out. So remember that string and have it. Focus to get those hips level. A lot to focus on. Inhale, arms up, grow your limbs however you'd like. You can have them up tall, goal pose, out like eagle wings, or you can just have them at heart center. Whatever feels good to you. Just remember to keep that knee active, back, going back. Breathing normal. And now release the arms down if you haven't already, and release the leg back to center. Give a little bit of movement to the legs. We'll do the other side now. So let's shift the weight to our left leg. Lift from that ankle. Grow length in that leg. Feel it contract. That's where all your stability is going to be. Now, we're going to bend that right knee and place the sole of the foot either at the ankle, on the calf. You can have it all the way up. You want to try to get the heel of the foot forward. It helps with getting that knee back, opening up the hip. Now, you just don't want your foot on the knee because then you won't be able to, it's not stable. Try to focus on one spot for balance, keeping that energy on the knee, and that glute should be really working. Now inhale, go ahead and grow those branches, however you'd like. I'm getting ready to lose my balance almost. And if you do, just get back in. It's no big deal. You've got time. We're staying here for a few breaths. Really focusing on our balance, trying to focus on just staying grounded. Reach those arms. You can have them in goalposts, out like eagle wings. You can have them in prayer. Breathing normal. And release the arms down if they're up. And then go ahead, release that leg. Give the legs a little bit of a shake out. And now, let's go ahead and do chair. And with chair, let's take our block or our box and place it between our thighs so we know to keep good form, good distance. We don't let those knees collapse in or anything. So our feet are shining straight forward for good muscle memory. Inhale, arms up overhead. Now on the exhale, first shoot your booty back as you hinge, then lower down. Now make sure you don't lose that box or the block. On the next inhale, lengthen through the spine, reach through those arms. See if you can even lengthen through the ankles. On the exhale, see if you can lower down any further. Breathing normal. Now push through those heels, lift all the way up. Release those arms down. Release the block. Shake those legs out. Excuse me. So now we're going to do chair again. And we're going to try to keep that same movement but without the box. You can use the box or the block again if you want. It's up to you. But you can really try to hunker down on those legs and feel that resistance against your own muscles instead of using the block if you want. So, once again, good form. Ankles under hips. Lifting those legs, lifting the torso. We're growing nice and long and strong. Now, feet are shining straight forward. Inhale, arms up overhead. Really lengthen those arms straight up. Now, hinge the hips, shoot the booty back. Now, go ahead and lower those glutes down. Remember how it felt when you were squeezing that block. Imagine you have that again. Now inhale, lengthen, straighten those arms, straighten that spine. Lift from those ankles up. On the exhale, see if you can go down any further. Come on up. Release the arms. Whew. Roll those shoulders. Shake the legs out. Good job. Okay. So now for Malasana. So step your legs, your feet wide, about the distance of your mat, the short sides of your mat. I've got my mat wide. And toes are pointing out. Now, get your feet in, get your arms in goalpost arms. Palms facing the center of the room. Feet are wide and pointing out. Now, on your exhale, hinge at those hips, just like we did in chair, and send that booty back. Now, inhale and lengthen. We're almost like in the skydiving pose again. Now, exhale, lower those hips down. Bring the hands together. See if you can push your knees out with your elbows. You can give a little bit of movement if you need to make a little bit more space. On the inhale, see if you can straighten, lengthen that back. Proud, proud posture. Breathing normal. Hands come to the mat, push up. See if you can just let that posterior chain go. Now lower back down. So take those palms, press them together, put the elbows at the knees, push the knees out as you lower those hips back down. Breathing normal again. Lengthening the spine. Hands come to the mat. Go ahead, lower yourself on down. Come into Dandasana. So legs go out in front. Toes are coming back towards the torso. Lengthening through the spine. You might want to move the flesh from your sit bones so you have that nice little tilt in your pelvis. Hands come beside the knees. Drag them back to the hips or slightly behind, whichever feels best on the wrists. And press into that floor. Press the legs into the floor. Proud chest. Breathing normal. Engage that belly. Every muscle is engaged right now. And release down. Go ahead and bring the soles of the feet together for Baddha Konasana and let the knees fall out to the side. Bring your hands under your feet if you have space for that. You might be up here and that's fine. Just try to relax into it. If you can, just keep letting those knees go down. Hopefully you can have your hands underneath your feet. And then you just keep letting them go down. And you can wiggle around, work them down. Till possibly one day your legs get all the way down to the floor as your spine grows up. And now if you can, you could even try to open up those soles of the feet as if you're opening up a book to read it for added flexion. For added stretch in the ankles. And then close the feet back up. Once again, widen those collarbones. Breathe, take nice deep breaths. And then go ahead, extend those legs back out in front. Give a little bit of movement to them. And then let's bend our knees, place the soles of the feet on the mat, and roll down vertebrae by vertebrae, holding the backs of your thighs to protect your back. Keep the knees bent, soles of the feet on the mat. We're going to go into bridge. So if you can, bring the heels so where your fingers might be able to touch. Feet are about a little bit wider than hip distance, and they're shining straight forward. Inhale, push through those heels and lift those hips up. Chin comes to chest. Now, if you can, interlace your hands, your fingers, underneath your torso and rock side to side to tuck your shoulders underneath your torso. Now reach the hands towards the soles of the feet and really push through the heels to lift your hips up as high as you can. And possibly even tuck that pelvis slightly to feel more of a hip flexor stretch and more of a glute contraction. Breathing normal. Keep lengthening those arms and pushing through those heels to lift higher. And release the hands, release the hips down, release the shoulders from underneath the body. Go ahead, windshield wiper the legs from side to side. And the knees come back to center, extend the legs long. Bend the left knee up and go ahead, engage that belly, twist that left knee over towards the right side. Try to keep, you can let your hips come up, try to keep both shoulder blades on the floor. If they come up, you've gone too far. Just go back off a little bit. Head can look opposite direction at the opposite hand. Engage that belly, bring that leg forward up to center, extend the leg long. Other side, take the right knee, bend it, leg up. Engage the belly, take that right knee, bring it over to the left side, keeping both sides, both shoulder blades on the mat. Engage that belly, bring that foot back up to center, extend that leg long. Go ahead, set yourself up for Savasana. So, still take the time for Savasana, even though you're at home. Seriously. So go ahead, set up. Put a blanket on. Put a blanket behind your knees. Get all comfy and cozy like you do when we're at the club. And take a moment just to relax. Now remember, I'm going to leave you in Savasana so you can take however much time you want. But I'm going to say namaste once I get you guys in, because I'm just sealing the practice, and then you'll continue on to finish yours on the mat. So once you get comfortable, get whatever jacket or whatever you need on to just take a few moments to relax after all the hard work you've done. So go ahead, close your eyes. Take a moment. Remember, we did that inventory at the beginning of class. Take a moment to see how the energy is inside your body. I hope it's improved. So start to relax. Relax your face. Relax your eyes. Relax your cheeks, your mouth. Release the tongue from the roof of your mouth and relax the jaw. Relax the shoulders, the chest, the arms. Relax the torso, the abdomen. Relax the tops of the legs, the knees. Relax the legs. Relax the feet. Relax the mind. Relax. I hope you enjoy your Savasana.